I saw the Random Rusty's Q&A and I was like, I'm totally doing that. That's my first video. Right there's the clear winner of what I do for my first video. Kind of feels like I need to be doing some like get to know you kind of stuff. Because I have a memory like a sieve, so I've actually written a couple of like answers down. It took me a while to try and figure out what I wanted to do for my first video because I've got a few work in progresses going on at the moment. I have a cardigan I'm still finishing and I'm doing 2 blankets at the moment. This is one of them. I'm going to do videos on both of those, but I don't feel right for a first video. I watch quite a few videos of Rusty and Mama G because I spend a lot of time by myself, so I kind of enjoy having just that casual conversation going on around me while I'm kind of going through my day. I saw this and I was just like, this is clearly the thing to do for my first video, so that's what I'm doing. First question is, besides yarn, is there anything else that you collect? Like I've always collected like rocks, minerals, crystals, that kind of thing. I think my first big like storage solution was like I spent about $150 on this like 100-year-old deed box that was quite large. And I remember thinking then, okay, once I fill this box, then I'm done. Like I can't buy anymore because I filled the box and I've got enough. No one needs more than a big box of rocks, right? That was my thinking. And then I was just like, I should get a crystal cabinet for my crystals. And so I did that. I ended up with 3 of those. Unfortunately, I've been homeless quite a few times, so I've lost a lot of things. And sometimes like crystals just move on and you know, that's what they do. So, but I do still kind of collect them. I haven't bought any in a long time because I'm trying not to be so materialistic. Instruments have been another big one. Mostly guitars. Why have 112 will do. That's basically my mantra. I have not bought a guitar in at least 3 years. Oh no! Oh, I lied. I bought one at the start of the year, sorry. I bought an acoustic bass for my Christmas present to myself. That bass was self-care. It's amazing how we legitimize things to ourselves. Editing Leah here, and well, I've lost some footage. I'm quite comfortable with the amount of guitars I have. I think I'm sitting at around 7. So, I mean, I'm not at 12. Like, it could be worse. I could have 12. And the other one was more the industry that I'm in. I think a lot of people deal with this as well. Like, in my industry, I work in SW. I will be abbreviating it for YouTube. And if you don't know what SW is, Google lingerie and heels. I went through oh my God, I just spent so much money. And it was like collecting too, because no one needs the amount of lingerie one buys in their first year of SW. You don't need all that lingerie. I'm here to tell you, you don't need all that lingerie. I mean, it's fun to buy, it's fun to wear. You don't need it. I mostly stick to plants these days, and I don't spend money on plants anymore. I mostly prop lift, or I will ask for cuttings, or I will just find I find cuttings all over the place actually. You know, like these shopping centers and stuff that have like, you know, pothos and stuff in them. I 100% take cuttings from those places. I have no guilt from that. None whatsoever. Number 2, what is my most prized possession? Well, my most prized possession is something that I don't actually own. It is the roof under which I dwell. As someone who has been homeless a number of times, like this is something that you just don't take for granted. Like this is just, yep, everything else can fall away. I don't mind, but like the roof situation, whew, love that for me so much. I can't even. So yeah, a roof. Like there's just no really follow up with that. I mean, if you have been under housing stress, if you know, you know. It's the roof. I genuinely do not care about my possessions anymore. For someone who was like so into buying stuff in my 20s, like I just don't care. Like I don't care. So books, a book or a movie that is important to me. So I have some books that I really love. Actually, they're right next. Okay, so this is my favorite book. I'll actually just imprint it here without the effect. I'm sorry, but I dig the effect. It's Cashil's Dart by Jacqueline Carey, and I absolutely love these books. I go through phases, like it gets to a point where it'll fall apart and then I like tape it up. And then when it's just too much to tape up, like literally there are pages falling out. I think the third book I need to replace again. I've replaced all of these. I've replaced this trilogy 3 times, I think. And so there's 9 in the whole thing. There's this trilogy, the next trilogy, and then the trilogy after. And then because Jacqueline Carey is so awesome, she wrote, sorry, I'm actually reading this at the moment. I don't read them with the cover things because I don't like to ruin the cover. She basically gave this the Midnight Sun treatment. I don't know if you read Twilight. It's a terrible book. I don't recommend it. The male character, like her guardian, her warrior priest, bodyguard dude, he gets his own book now. And so I'm reading them chapter by chapter because that's what you do. So excited. Like, oh my God, it came out just before my birthday this year. And I was just like, did she do that for me? Feels like she did that for me. And I needed it. After last year, I had a shit year last year. So to have like my favorite author, like basically give me like a new take on my all-time favorite book. So happy. I can't even with how happy that makes me. I think that's all we really needed to cover. So I will let proper filmed me continue. I have like a set of nostalgic movies in my mind that I kind of enjoy watching. The Labyrinth, The Dark Crystal, The Never-Ending Story. Really enjoyed the Dark Crystal thingy. Oh, and Willow. Oh my God, Willow. Loved Willow. The revampy thing, not so much. Like I was watching that, I was like, this, oh my God, it was such a letdown because so many people came back for that. So I was like, oh, sucks that was not awesome. Galaxy Quest and Starship Troopers. I watch Starship Troopers when I'm sick a lot. I don't know why. It's like a weird comfort thing. And Galaxy Quest I watch when I'm sad. Like that's what I watch, and I can't not laugh at that film. It is so funny. Like Sigourney Weaver is just hot as balls. Love it. Anyway, God, we're only at question 4. Okay, how many languages can you say thank you in? Let's see. Merci, grazie, sheshe. Oh, I'm butchering that. Gracias, kakun. Probably butchering that as well. I think that's Thai. Oh, I used to know Dutch, but yeah. Oh, for the life of me, I can't remember Dutch. But I used to, but it starts with a B. I know that. I can't remember what. Anyway, can't remember Dutch anymore. That's a shame. What is the most interesting place you've visited? Oh, well, I don't get it much, so that's really kind of easy. On one of my tours that I did with my work wife, we took a train through the Blue Mountains in New South Wales. So yeah, it was, I don't know, honestly, I was so tired. We had like not slept a whole lot, and I'm not sure where we were coming from or going to, but that particular stretch was a long, they were all long stretches. Like, I don't know if you've ever tried traveling for a month solid on only public transport. It's a lot. Like everywhere takes a long time to get to. The Blue Mountains. The Blue Mountains are beautiful. If you ever get a chance, definitely do it. But it is lovely. It's so nice. It's just such a shame that I was just so tired. Like, I don't even think I took photos. Like, next question is, are you a morning bird or a night owl? Well, for me, it sort of changes. So if it's winter, I'm like, I'll be up all night. But summer, like, there's a noticeable difference the way I operate. I will go to bed a lot earlier, like really early. Like, I think I was in bed by 9:30 last night. As soon as the temperature starts getting hotter, like, I am up super early, like 6:30. I could probably, like, I don't know. On tour during summer, I know I was doing booking, like I was taking really early bookings. I'm sure I took like a 6 a.m. booking at some point, which would not at all ever happen in winter. It just wouldn't. No. Who's getting out of bed at 6 o'clock in winter? Tell me, and I will show you someone who has problems. Animal family. Well, this Jonesy. Hi, Jonesy. Say hello, Jonesy. I was looking for a rescue when I got Jones. I wasn't I? I was looking for a rescue. And then someone just called me up a few days later, I think it was. We have to go out to this farm. There's like 6 cats and we've got to find them all homes. They're about 6 months. They were honestly, all of the cats were completely feral. We arrived, they were all outside. They'd caught them in a possum trap. So they had 6 identical ginger cats in this small like cage, and they're kind of like, do you want to choose one, get to know one? I'm like thinking, like, I looked at them and I was kind of like, oh God. You just want to hold hands now? You want to hold hands? Yeah, we can hold hands. And my friend was just like, which one do you want? I'm like, they are all feral. It doesn't matter. None of them have a personality right now. They were a little bit like the only one you can't have. There's like one that has like a black whisker. It was dark. By this time it was like past 6 o'clock. It was getting dark. Like no one can tell a black whisker, I'm sorry. And I couldn't even pick any of them up. Like none of them were coming near anyone once we let them out of the cage, and then we had to go find one. So at that time I was basically like, just grab one and we'll get to know it later. Like, we'll just hope that he's not an asshole. You're not an asshole though, are you? No. He's sometimes an asshole. But no, look, after he probably took about, I want to say about three weeks or so to actually settle in. It was a few days where I was like, oh my God, did I just bring a fully feral cat into my house? And also I had plants everywhere. And this cat had never been taught to use a litter box. He'd only ever peed in plants, which was a problem for me. It was a problem. So the plants are all in this room. There are fewer of them because he legit killed a number of them in the first week. So like, honestly, even the top of my fridge wasn't safe. Like, it kind of is now. He doesn't seem to want to get up there, but plants don't live in the main house anymore. They live in the craft room. And he does not get to come in here very often, so he's kind of really happy to be in here now. What show or movies do you like to rewatch? Well, if I'm really in a rewatch mood, generally I'm probably gonna want to binge watch something because I like having something bingey in the background. And my go-to is generally the Alien and Predator movies, including the Alien versus Predator. Kat, what are you doing? Because I love them. I absolutely love them. I really like the alien sci-fi, and I'll always watch them in order. I can't watch something one off if there's like a series or whatever. I got caught in something earlier in the year too, and then I ended up watching, I haven't to watch all of them because I'm me. Classic horror thing where there was like, oh, it was the Pinhead movies. That's it. It was the Pinhead movies. I'd never seen any of the Pinhead movies, and I'm like, well, clearly I have to. But the way my brain works is it won't let me just watch the one off. I have to watch them all. Do you know there's something like 20 odd Pinhead movies? Like, there's a lot, and some of them are really, really bad. So that's a fun thing my brain makes me do. Number 9 is how do you recharge? I crochet. Like, that's how I recharge. The lace making, I started getting into crochet because I had put some needle lace that I had done on, I think, Reddit. Is it needle lace or tatting? I don't know. One of the two, because I do tatting as well. Needle tatting. Because I didn't know what a shuttle was. I'd never heard of shuttle before, but I had the needles, so I learnt needle tatting. And then someone had crocheted one of the things that I had needle laced. And I was like, oh, that's actually really beautiful. I'm gonna learn how to do that. So I learned how to do that. And I also know how to knit as well, but I don't know, I don't like knitting. It's just, it takes, like, I've got to constantly count the things, and then I'm just, oh my God, I just, no. I bought a knitting machine. That's how we knit. Favorite way to travel? Well, my favorite way to travel is probably by train. I really enjoy train trips. Having said that, I really do enjoy like the old school car road trip with your mates. So there's that as well. Okay, so we're up to question 11. Do or did you have any nicknames? Well, Leah is a nickname. It's not my real name. So I actually have 2 nicknames slash fake names, I guess, that I go by. So Leah is my working name. And then I did a stint a while ago where I was doing some performing art, mainly like burlesque, and my name for that was Sway Darling. And now I still use Sway for my art just to keep it somewhat separate. Number 12, are you a extrovert or an introvert? Now, I used to think that I was an extrovert. Really did, honestly, really did. Turns out it was mostly the alcohol, but I was always around people, and if I was around people, I drank a lot to deal with being around a lot of people. Question 13 was, what was your first official job? Take that off and dance around a lot. So yeah, and I was actually really terrible at that job too. Yeah, I was still in high school actually when I did that, and then I got busted by a teacher and they expelled me for it. That was the first time I experienced SW stigma and discrimination. I was of age at the time and I hadn't told anyone, and they told me like the only reason was because there was someone in the club that night that was a teacher. God, it was such hard work. I followed that up by going into the corn industry, and oh my god, I fell in love with that. It was so much easier. I was like, oh my god, these girls work so hard, so hard. My feet were killing me. We were doing like 12-hour shifts. Like I was dancing 12-hour shifts and I was still at school. Like I was doing VCE. I was only doing Thursday and Friday, and then I'd sleep basically the whole weekend because oh my god, that is some hard work. And back then you could smoke inside. Ew. Oh my god, it was so gross. It was so gross. My hair would smell, like everything would stink like cigarettes. It was I did actually do that again years later under such better circumstances. Well, not really. I worked at a club. Like they had a thing where you put the coins in and then you'd be able to see what the lady. So I was the lady in the box, right? And then we had stage shows as well. And I really loved that. Like I had so much fun because especially in the little box, because you didn't really see people, you didn't have to interact with anyone. That was what I did when I burnt out from parlors, essentially. So I would just go and start doing that when I thought I was going to start burning out because I could never afford to just take a holiday. Anyway, so that's what I would do. So that's what I did for my first job. Okay, if money was no object, how would you spend your day? Oh, now I would probably play music, make art, and cuddle my cat. Yeah. That's what I do. What did I write down? Have I missed anything? Hug my cat, play music, and create art. Okay, so number 15. If you became a ruler of your own country, what is the first law you would pass? I would make housing, education, and healthcare, including fucking dental, free for all. I would pay for it by taxing the ass out of the 1%. Like tax them until there is no 1%, and then you start working on the 2%, right? That's how we work. Yeah, so that's what I would do. And now I think we're on to the last question actually. Okay, so number 16, name something that you are proud of. I am actually really proud of the work that I'm doing at the moment. I'm working for the Bigger Sister channel, and actually you can check us out on YouTube because we're on YouTube. I'm the social media officer for that, so I run a lot of that, like I run all the social media. So when you're messaging us on social media, you're actually speaking to me. Hi. We're focusing currently on economic empowerment, which is fantastic because a lot of people struggle with economic empowerment and financial literacy. I am certainly one of those people, and I found that since working with Bigger Sister, I've just gotten so much more confidence in like my financial matters. Like I've had savings, and I had savings when I needed some money, like when that happened, like yeah. So I'm getting more responsible with. So some of the things that we do with Bigger Sister channel is obviously the economic empowerment, and we're releasing videos on that, and we have a community podcast where we sort of share stories and diagnose real world problems, and it is geared towards SWs. So one of the things that we'll be doing is like trying services, making sure that they're SW friendly. So we'll be doing more of that, and I'm just so proud of that. And we also do workshops as well on all kinds of different things. So far we've done things on on SEO, we did one for tax, Shibari, BDSM, we did a 2-day BDSM. I think the Shibari was a two-day affair as well. We've just had some really successful boundaries workshops. I think we've got another one of those coming up, and then we've got like some data set, like how to interpret data and use data. Like literally it's really broad. I'm just super proud of really honestly, we do a good job over there. Anywho, I have no idea how long I've been talking for, so it's been a while. Oh, that's lukewarm. I've really enjoyed doing the questions. I think this is kind of a good way to sort of do the whole get to know you type deal. Look at how covered in catnip he is. He's covered in catnip. Covered in catnip. Are you covered in catnip? You covered in catnip? Yeah, he's happy about that. You're happy about that. That's the video. No idea how to end this. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.